You are listening to the Lawyer Stories podcast with host Benny Gold. Lawyer Stories was founded in July 2017 on Instagram and is an expanding global network of lawyers and law students sharing their personal journeys to the noble profession of the practice of law. Join us on this podcast as we dig deeper into these stories and hear from lawyers and law students from around the world in all areas of the legal profession. Here at Lawyer Stories, we believe that every lawyer has a story. What's yours?
Welcome, everybody, to the Lawyer Stories podcast, episode 9 with Benny Gold. Today we have a very special guest, Juanita Ingram, all the way from Taiwan. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, likewise. It's night here, it's day over there, but we're talking lawyer stories. I mean, we did feature you a couple years ago. It was like a couple years ago this week. So it was April 24th, 2018. So I appreciate you being one of the originals. You really, you were very encouraging to me when I first started this, and I definitely appreciate your story. So I wanted to bring you back as one of the first on the podcast.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all that you're doing. And I can't believe it's been 2 years. Where does the time go? It just flew by. But everything that you're doing for our profession, I'm 100% behind it, support you, everything because it's so encouraging for us as lawyers to see other people in our profession and the way that you highlight the diversity of what all we're doing. So thank you for all that you're doing.
Yeah, of course. I really enjoy it. It's definitely a passion project. And, I remember you helping me try out IGTV. We actually put something up October 30th, 2018. So we have a few things on there. IGTV, we didn't really use it as much as I thought. But for the listeners out there, Juanita is very talented. You do multiple things. You're a lawyer, you're an author, you're an actress, you're a wife. Your mother of two. So I usually like to start off with asking the guest, like, when did you have that epiphany when you knew you wanted to be an attorney? And going back through your story, it was just a great lawyer story. Just tell us where you're from and when you had that epiphany about when you were 14. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. I'm from originally Chattanooga, Tennessee. So while I live here in Taiwan right now, and before this, we were in London for almost 5 years. I'm a Southern girl. So I'm originally from Tennessee, attended the University of Memphis School of Law and Tennessee State University undergrad. So I'm a Tennessean to heart. And I had the epiphany when I was 14, somewhere between 14 and 15. I was on the mock trial team in high school and just got the taste for presenting positions. And I went to an all minority high school. We were sort of the underdog that year in the mock trial competition. It was the first year that my high school had actually participated. And I ended up winning best oral argument, best advocate. Wow. And it was just a total shock, to all of the private schools that had been doing it for years. And I just remember standing in the courtroom in Hamilton County, Tennessee, about to make this argument and feeling this rush of advocacy, of responsibility, of the subject matter that we were talking about, of being underestimated, and knowing that I had a voice and feeling in that moment that I had a voice, that I mattered, and it was fun. And I had always gotten in trouble talking too much in class, and I'm like, I can talk all I want to now. This is great. Nobody's going to put me in the back of the classroom. Nobody's kicking me out of AP class. I used to get kicked out of AP honors class.
Really?
For talking too much.
Talking too much? Like answering too many questions? Or?
No, I wasn't answering questions. I was just having conversations about, I was talking about most of the time things that were on topic. I just had an opinion about everything. And I would sit there and I would discuss everything at times when I wasn't supposed to be talking. And I remember thinking one day somebody's going to pay me to talk. And so that was, I just wanted to also help people. And that was the epiphany that I had in that moment. Like, and I can do this to change some things and have an impact. So yeah, it bit me then. And I've been hooked ever since.
And you've never turned back. And like, one of the things that I find interesting about you is, you think that you have the position that when you become an attorney, it opens multiple doors. Like you can do multiple things. So tell me about that a little bit. Like I definitely remember that about you and your story. So I find that very interesting.
Yes, thank you. It's interesting because when I was in law school, I think it was my last semester, one of my professors gave out this book. I think everybody's seen it, like all the things you can do with a law degree. And it had like 100 and some things that you can do. And I never really paid much attention to it. I skimmed through it. I still have it. And I skimmed through it and looked, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because my undergrad degree is in accounting. And I did the dual JD MBA program. Right. So I always knew that I wanted to be in business. I always had an affinity towards business. I just thought, well, I'll just be a business attorney. Right. I took a nonprofit class. I think I got the Andrew Award for business law, and I knew that that was the path that I wanted to take, but I didn't really consider all the things, being both a creative and being an attorney and being equally functioning of right brain, left brain. Right. And I blame my parents. My mother is a musician. My father is a CFO. It's their fault that I have this duality going on.
You got some good traits then. You definitely inherited.
Yeah. Well, I grew up being an artist and painting and being an art contest. I grew up playing 5 instruments. I was a drum major in high school. So I grew up, I started acting when I was 9. So I was in theater, as a child, and that was all my mother's influence. And then, I did all of these academic things. It was my father's influence. So I do write books. When I moved to London, it was the first time that I'd actually taken a step back from 60-hour weeks practicing law, and actually had all these books inside of me that I didn't have time to do. And in that short window, all these books poured out. And then I went back to acting and got signed, did my first feature film when I was in London, and started back doing that, and then decided to get behind the camera recently and start producing and creating. And so I started my nonprofit production company that is built to empower women. And, I look at different people. I studied lawyers. Yep. I studied Gandhi. I studied Clive Davis. I studied Iyanla Vanzant. And all of these people that you don't know are lawyers, but are doing other things. I don't think Clive Davis misses a day at the law firm.
Do you?
While he's running Jive Records. I don't.
It doesn't sound like you do, yeah.
I miss colleagues sometimes. Yeah, I miss, and I had a great experience. My first law firm, we all go through the trenches. I'll say I had a great experience. I've had some, typical first year, early lawyering experiences that you're grinding, right. And you got partners of every persuasion, I'll say that. But I was fortunate to have some really good attorneys early on. I started out at a law firm called Miller and Martin in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Amazing firm. And I'm still friends with my mentors, with the people that are there. And I had a great experience. I miss that type of camaraderie. I'm appreciative. Yeah, I'm appreciative of.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. And even, when you're with the right group of people, even billable hours aren't that hectic. You're just recording. Right. It doesn't really bother you that much when you're in a really healthy environment and you're with a great group of people. And those folks were great to me, for me. I'm still in contact with many of them to this day, still think of them all fondly. And I know that's kind of unique, but I miss that opportunity.
That's great. I mean, I think a lot of first experiences, you don't come away with that positive, that good taste in your mouth. So I think that's definitely awesome that you still keep in touch with your mentor and you had a really good experience. So you've moved like all around, right? So I'm just curious, like how you adopt to the change and moving. And so tell us a little bit about that. Like, is that difficult? Like you start a community somewhere and then you're, you have to pick up and leave, and then you're trying to do a community somewhere else, even though virtual online communities, you could be anywhere, but.
Right. Well, you can now. When I first moved to London, it was back in 2011. That was before Teams, Zoom, that was before Skype was even big. And so I remember the first move, leaving the US and going and living in London, probably the first 4 months were the hardest for me to adjust, because I not only had to step away and quit my in-house counsel job at the time, I had to really search and figure out and say, okay, who am I? In addition to what I do, who am I really? Right. And that was probably the hardest journey mentally that I had to take, and not just staying in the sort of expat bubble and only mingling with other Americans, but really getting out into the London community. I think it changed everything when I decided to get up off the couch and really pursue everything that I could. I started a charity in London at that time, and I'm still chairing the board, still running that organization, from afar. So yes, Dress for Success Greater London, and helping other women who are unemployed get back into the workplace. And we actually I just launched last week the affiliate in Chattanooga, Tennessee, while I'm here in Taiwan. Virtually launched that affiliate during COVID-19.
Wow, I love that. You're helping women get back into the work. I love that. Congratulations.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's something that, the founder of Dress for Success was an attorney. The worldwide CEO of Dress for Success right now is an attorney. I had all of these great examples of people who were doing these phenomenal things. I won't even say other things, because your legal skills come into play in everything that you do. When I'm running these other companies, I'm running my own production company, all of these nonprofits, I pull on everything that I learned in my nonprofit law class and all of the CLEs that I've taken. And, I started out in the law firm that I work with in the nonprofit group. So all of these years of training, of helping other clients be successful, all comes into play. And the one thing that I had to do in order to adapt to change was to realize that I am more than just the traditional, and there's nothing wrong with it, because I love that. I love the traditional practice of law, but we are more than just that function alone. But because we have the training and the skills and, the ability to really think strategically, to problem solve, that's half of the battle in any business, in any undertaking. So I had to really be bold, and by nature, I am a forced extrovert, but I'm really an introvert. I'm very comfortable sitting by myself and sitting at home.
So you don't mind the social distancing then?
It doesn't bother me. It drives my husband insane. Like, he has a real problem sitting in the house and being still. I honestly could sit in my office for days and not have a problem. And we are in Taiwan, so we went into sort of a quarantine situation back in January, because we're 80 miles outside of China. So we did everything that you guys are doing in the US. We were there end of January all the way to the end of February. My kids' school was canceled. We were on lockdown. I didn't leave my house.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question, Juanita. Is what's it like in Taiwan in light of the COVID-19? Like, how are you dealing with everything?
Yeah, it's strange. It is really good here. The Taiwanese government, now Taiwan is a democracy, and they fought for their independence from China years ago. The relationship with China and Taiwan it's always been a bit strained in the past and even in the present. But because they went through SARS and learned so much from that experience, they had the most amazing team in place. The government gave an amazing response. We've had 6 people that have passed away within the country, and Taiwan is 23 million people. Okay. We've had 55 cases thus far of it spreading within the island of Taiwan.
Really?
Maybe like 350 cases of people coming or trying to come into the island from Europe and from the US with the virus. That's it. Okay. So, we did a second wave in March of self-quarantine and, locking down schools. My kids' schools were canceled again because everything and it just emphasizes what kind of global citizens we really all are, no matter where we live. We're all global citizens, because when the US and Europe can't get a handle on things, the wave comes back over, and we were fine. Right. But then the wave came and we had to go back into sort of a self-quarantine situation. We're emerging from that now. We're not on lockdown. I went to a restaurant with my husband the other day. Oh, nice. Social distancing, it worked. Flattening the curve works. We are required to still wear masks. We're required to still social distance. I can't go into a restaurant or even the grocery store without a mask on. They're taking my temperature. Kids' schools
they're taking your temperature. So have you had your temperature? I read on your website. By the way, I'm just tell everybody, awesome website.
Thanks.
I am JuanitaIngram.com.
Yes.
And just you can see trailers of movies, all your awards
Mm-hmm.
for your films. It was really cool. I just went on there, like I told you before the show, like, and I really enjoyed like the clips. You know, I hope maybe you could send me the movie when it's out or something. I'll definitely watch that.
Yeah.
Great, very talented. So, and I read on there that you had a, you know, you're dealing with obviously like the situation over there. So you had your temperature taken somewhere like outside of what happened there? Always.
Yeah. Even like going into the grocery store, going into a restaurant, going into a mall, any building, they have machines here that they can take your temperature from, they don't have to touch you. You know, they can take it from a distance, and that's just a requirement. It's something that, you know, you have to do in order to safeguard other people. Wearing a mask is not just for you, but to safeguard whatever you have, keep it to yourself and not spread it around to other people. But even in the public transportation, so down in the tube or the subway, they take your temperature before you're allowed to get on. Yeah, it's so you can have asymptomatic people, but sometimes if you have a fever, you know, it's one of the symptoms. So there's something that they're doing to safeguard everybody here. The response here, I know people have seen it. It's been on CNN. It's been on Forbes magazine. It's been all over the world about how Taiwan responded to this and sort of sets a blueprint of how to get it right. So I feel really fortunate in being here at this time. You never know the bigger picture of why you're in a certain place at a certain time. And, you know, it was a big consideration of us moving again, me quitting another in-house counsel position again. But it helps me for me, it helped push me into purpose. It helped push me into because sometimes if you never have a reason, you'll never really launch into something that takes a bit more faith. It's comfortable working for someone else, but I find that it is rewarding working for myself. And so it's
great. And you're super creative. I mean, all of your projects that you have going on, and I think like, so I wanted to know too, like what's next for you, like in the legal world. Like, do you have anything legal? And I know that you have an exciting project coming up that you told me about. So I want to hear about that with the contract.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Yes. So I've got a contract template service because I run into so many other creatives in the field that I'm in the entertainment field, whether it's photographer, videographers, sound technicians, engineers, small business owners, caterers, you know, all of these people. And I'm a contract specialist. That's what I've been doing for the last 18 years, but specifically in the supply chain, procurement area.
Stuff, like procurement?
Yes. Okay. I was assistant general counsel for all of North America and South America for their supply chain for a company. Is what I've been doing. I was that at Rolls-Royce. You know, I've done it for 18 years now, and in addition to nonprofit law. So really on the side of business. And I just have all of these creative friends that are like, you know, this person was supposed to pay me and I didn't get paid, or this person I was supposed to deliver this, but now they're disputing that. And in my mind, I'm like, where's your contract? You know, where's your contract? And sometimes it's not easy for small business owners and self-employed individuals, entrepreneurs, to go out and get legal counsel and get the templates that they need. If you get a template, you don't know how to use it. If you get it and you get comments back and they want to change it. And I'm talking about I have friends who are commercial landlords on a small scale that may own a shopping center or may own, you know, a couple of condominiums or apartment complexes, and they don't know what to do. So I'm coming out with a contract template service that not only offers, these templates for small business and specifically for creatives, but that it will also have video explanations on how to fill them out, what the provisions actually mean. And then when they get comments back, I'm going to have a function on the site. I'm really excited about this because I'm receiving my certification from Harvard University for contract and technology.
Wow.
So contract law and technology. So I'm really excited because the component on the website will give them ability to reload that template and use AI technology to review the comments. So, you know,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's leveraging technology in a new way, but making it accessible. Before I left my last position, I did a procurement process for an AI technology contract review, and there are a lot of companies out there right now that are serving large legal, you know, functions and large legal departments, but it's not really available for individuals. It's expensive, and so, you know, I reviewed so many of these companies and took a lot of notes. And there are a lot of things where it's great, and then there are gaps in certain areas. So, you know, utilizing that technology for the benefit of your average everyday entrepreneur is something that will open that opportunity, will open that to the market. Again, helping people that really need your help.
Right. No, that's great. I think that's really cool that you're, you know, you keep your hand in like the legal thing. I mean, I know we always use our skills, like the critical thinking and everything that we learn in law school, you know, in everyday life, in our jobs, even if they're non-legal jobs, but you're also keeping your hand in it. Like you don't want to, you know, you're not totally moving away from that. So that's awesome. Congrats to you. It sounds like we might need to do another lawyer story in the feed at some point. When we get the contract template out, I definitely want to see it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Anytime. So you touched a little about your nonprofit, but tell us a little bit more. I think did you have one or two that you were working on? I know it's the women, and then I think there was another one. I'm sorry if I missed that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries. So there's Dress for Success. Yeah. That is a nonprofit that we help unemployed women get back into the workplace. We give them free interview attire, free interview training, career management conferences, workshops, seminars, one-on-one individual trainings, your resume review, all of those things that you need to be successful. And I'm just a firm believer that no one succeeds in a bubble. We have mentors or sponsors, or even just, you know, your girlfriend that you call up and you're like, hey girl, does this look good? Help me warm up for this interview. So we want to be the girlfriends for as many women as we can. So I run that charity in London, and now we launched last week in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I'm running both of those. And then I have a nonprofit production company called Purpose Productions.
That's right.
It's a 501c3. We are specifically for giving women a voice in media. So whether it's in different mediums of media, so whether it's written or right now we've got a couple of video or movie projects, film projects, and a couple of television projects that we are shopping right now that we're really close to distribution agreements for, that I'm really excited about, that I haven't even been able to put on the website or even talk about. And that's been an exciting journey as well. But we employ everybody, you know, we're equal opportunity organization, but our documentaries, the things that we do, the films that we do are specifically geared toward giving women a particular voice. That's and having our stories told in a way that is helpful and empowering to us. So we've got one film right now that came out. I think you probably saw the trailer, called Tables. It's anti-bullying, it's diversity and inclusion. Okay. We're tackling all of these different issues through film. And so we've gotten so many. I saw was
I think I did see that, but I also saw one where there was it looked like the music was a little, it was going to be a drama. Sort of.
Yes, so that was Beautiful Nightmare.
Yes.
That we did last year, and that was, we did really well with that one. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
If you ever need an actor, like I can make my debut or something, and your movies.
We're casting. You know what I'm saying? We're casting, absolutely. We've got so many projects in the pipeline. We always do a casting call, so you need to follow us. Make sure when we do that, I'm going to send you a casting call. I would love to see you play. I won't stretch you too far. You play an attorney, okay? I'll get you in the courtroom setting. It'll be awesome.
Hey, look, I just haven't been able to get a haircut in like a couple weeks, but those are the least problems in the world right now. You know, it's not. So anyway, so Juanita Ingram, woman of many talents. It's like really cool to connect with you and you know, talk about what you're up to, and you know, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. So is there anything else that you want to share? How can everybody get in touch with you?
Yes, I am on all social media platforms. If you just type in I am Juanita Ingram, you'll find me. You know, I think I'm just really happy that I continue to be in the profession that I love, that it gives me an opportunity to help people to do things that matter, to do things of importance, to leave a legacy, not only for other women, but for my family. You know, I have a daughter who's 12. She's in our new film. She just won Best Actress from the New York Film Awards and LA Film Awards and the Actors Awards in LA. So she's probably more talented than I am. And it's just great to be able to create a platform to celebrate other men and women, to help men, because we have some wonderful men on our board for Dress for Success that are very instrumental in helping women. And so it's just great to see communities come together to be instrumental in that. I love being a lawyer. You're right. I always keep my hand, in the traditional side of things, because I just absolutely love what it is that we do. I've got, if you go to, I am Juanita Ingram on any platform, it'll take you everywhere you need to go, website, everything. I've got a travel blog that I do because I'm all over the place. Where in the world is Juanita? You never know where I'm going to be.
That's great.
That's sort of slowed a little bit with COVID-19. We're going to chill out, on that. We're running some reruns right now. We're not going anyplace, but except for we're going to do a special on exploring Taiwan. We're going to just keep it right here on the island.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's some cool places here to explore. Really cool. So
great. Well, congrats on all your success. I'm happy you get to do so many different cool things. And just for everybody out there, head over Lawyer Stories on Instagram. It's at lawyer_stories. We're also on Facebook. I believe that this podcast is going to be hopefully the next big thing for us. I'm going to keep putting it out there and doing the best we can over here.
Yes.
And again, thank you so much, Juanita, for being with us. Hopefully we could work together on something soon, whether it's me being in one of your movies or, just maybe we can, when you get your contract project out, let me know, and we'll definitely we'll do something with that.
Absolutely.
Cool. So other than that, I think this will conclude episode 9 of the Lawyer Stories podcast with Benny Gold. And wherever you are all in the world today, enjoy yourselves and stay well, stay safe, and be good. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
The Lawyer Stories podcast is produced by Marketing the Law. Are you looking at your social presence every day? Potential clients are. Learn how to magnetize your brand with the help of Marketing the Law. Find us on Instagram at Marketing the Law to learn more.